Hello, and welcome to the 100 Points in 30 Days Summit, where we address individuals who need to add 100 points on their credit scores in 30 days or improve their business credit scores in 30 days. Now, I've rounded up several of the top professionals in the niche of personal and business credit education, as well as finance, to help with this issue. My name is Jamilah Mccluney. I'm a former radio host of a top entrepreneur show in Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, as well as Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I have a young lady who is a principal and financial strategist. She has been featured on Fox News and several print as well as broadcast outlets around the country. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from Howard University and believes that her background in behavioral science helps her understand how people think and feel in regard to their personal debt and finances. Her clients refer to her as a financial coach and strategist because she has a serious hands-on approach, and I mean hands-on. Originally from San Diego, California, now residing in Los Angeles, California area, help me welcome Miss Jamilah Mccluney to the 100 Points in 30 Days Summit. Jamilah, how are you doing?
I'm good, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am going to get your name correct one of these days. We've been knowing each other a long time.
It was close today. You did really good. Close.
Good. Now, I appreciate you hopping on to the summit, to give us some nuggets about, what you're doing in the area of personal finance. I think you're really doing something that's going to help a lot of people around the country. And it's definitely an eye-opening and changing in the financial industry. So let's go ahead and tell a little bit about your background, how you got started in helping individuals with finance, and, the name of your company and where you're headed. I know it's a loaded question.
Okay, let's see if I can remember all those and get them in. Pretty much, when I went to college, I went on a scholarship, and I never, nobody ever really talked to me about credit. I was one of the kids who lined up to get the $5 coupon for Subway if I filled out a credit card application, or, I get a free t-shirt if I filled out a credit card application. So here I am, 18, with credit cards and no job. So you can already imagine how that turned out. I wasn't able to make the payments. They closed, default, and was on my credit report. So I realized at that point, a little later, that I needed help, and I couldn't be the only one. I got a mortgage when I graduated from college. I didn't understand it. I was on an ARM. It adjusted. I mean, there's so many things with finances that even though my parents were entrepreneurs and owned their own businesses, I just didn't learn. So it was really my mistakes and me recovering from those, and, being afraid to open the mail and answer the phone because I didn't know what bill collectors were calling or what they wanted, and just, avoiding it, that really made me get to a place of learning and repairing myself, my credit, and getting my finances together, and realizing that other people were definitely in the same boat and needed help. So the name of my company is Black Wealth Financial, and I really have, like you said, a hands-on approach to helping people manage their money, get out of debt, retirement planning, whatever's going on and whatever problem that they have that involves their money. I'm all over it.
Great. That's amazing. Now, with your hands-on approach, let's go a little bit more in detail what you mean when you say hands-on approach, because, we've helped hundreds of people, thousands of people, between the two of us over the years with their credit. What separates your approach to helping individuals with their credit as opposed to some of the other things that we may see in the marketplace?
Well, I think one of the big things is, a lot of people have credit repair services at this point, but it's not, if you don't know how to manage your money and pay your bills on time, you're always going to have a credit problem. So I like to get to the root of the problem. And so what I found is, it doesn't really matter. And I say this all the time, if anybody becomes a client, they'll hear me say a million times, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It matters how much money you keep. And so there's a lot of people who make the money, but they can't manage it properly. They're not saving. They're not paying the bills on time. They're not putting the money where it needs to go. So that's where I step in, kind of similar to like a personal trainer. So I'm that accountability partner. I'm looking at your finances. I'm creating the budget. I'm saying, hey, if you were my client, Emmanuel, why did you swipe your card at Starbucks? And now, there's accountability. You have to hear me. I'm in your business. And it just gives you that knowing somebody's looking, knowing somebody's taking care of everything. And so you want to do better. It would be the difference in you going to the gym and working for months and then getting a trainer and getting the results really quickly. So that's what I do. I get in and see what the problem is. And it may not even be what you think it is. Like, a lot of people come because they think it's a credit problem. I want my credit fixed. And then when I start to look at the issues with the credit, a lot of those can be corrected if you pay your bills and manage your money. And a lot of people need help with that.
Right. A big part of individuals' credit is the amount of debt that you owe, and how often or how frequent you pay your bills. That has a lot to do with it. So I can definitely see how that alone could add another 40 to 60 points on the individual's credit scores by just following those simple steps. Now, what are some of the main challenges you find when you begin to help some of your new clients?
I think it has to do a lot with just being honest and transparent. A lot of people, there's a lot of shame and embarrassment associated with finances. And especially, if you have a certain income, or if you think, just your personal awareness of where you feel like you should be and you're not there. So a lot of people have that, embarrassment. And so I'm like, hey, I'm not even looking in the same way that you're looking. There's no judgment. I'm just here to help. And so the more transparent that people are, the easier it is for me to get in and find the problem and help them. And I would say, I think, just control, because when you work with me, you're actually giving up the control of everything that you did and what you thought was correct. And now somebody else is in charge of that. So those are the couple adjustments that people have early that they have to make, but it doesn't take long before they get it together and start to see the results.
And you know what? I want to touch on that point. People should not be embarrassed. We go through school, through grade school, we go through junior high, high school, even college, as you just gave me your example, and we are not educated about credit. Mm-hmm. Very few of us decides to stay in economics and even pay attention.
Right.
We're just doing enough to get by, and it's not enough emphasis, in my opinion, in the educational system for middle school and high schoolers, with teaching them about credit. So people as a whole, we should not feel embarrassed about being in a position and having less than perfect credit, because it really is. Oftentimes, you can say it's your own fault, but on a large scale, it's not really your fault, because you wasn't really taught. Now, once you begin to be taught and you're watching the summit, you're going through a program like yours and some of the other speakers that we may have on this summit. Once you get educated, then it is your fault, because you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Let me ask you a question. Do you assist clients who've tried credit repair themselves? They've tried to get their own stuff together. Maybe they've gone to another company. They have gone to the library, pulled up a book. We've tried to do it ourselves, and they've just gone in and botched it all up. Do you actually assist with those clients? And if you do you put any type of guarantee on it?
I actually do. I've had a couple clients. One that sticks out in particular, she went through the program with one of the major credit repair people. They have a lot of commercials and stuff on TV, and she'd been paying them for 2 years. Now imagine, every month for 2 years. And she had some things fall off of her credit, but her score still hadn't improved. And she was in the low 500s when she came to me as a client. And she came to me for money management, but I started to see that she also had credit issues. So when I'm looking at the credit, I noticed, even though she was working with the other company, they hadn't made sure that she was current in her other bills that were reporting to her credit. So it was the first thing that I was able to do and say, hey, your student loans are in default. If you bring those current, your score will jump up, exponentially, because even though you're doing this credit repair, we're not really fixed. It's kind of counterproductive. You're fixing it on one end, but it's being reported as negative every month on the other end. So, credit is a funny thing. I don't personally offer any guarantees within my company. We see what we can get off, what can improve. There's a lot of recommendations, but it's a process that you go through. And a lot of stuff can't be fixed overnight, wasn't messed up overnight, but it is a process that we go through. And usually 9 times out of 10 see a significant jump from where they were and the things that we're able to take care of.
See, you're so much more than credit repair or credit restoration. You know, you guys have, like you say, you have a hands-on approach, and you guys really get a chance to dive into a person's finances where, you know, like you said, you're going to call me if I swipe that card for a $4 Starbucks coffee and I wasn't supposed to. Do you get any pushback with some of your clients, or you get anybody that say, you know what, I'm not giving you access to my bank account? Sorry, you know, I don't. No, you're a scam.
It's interesting. I go to a lot of financial conferences, and everybody's shocked and amazed that most of the clients I've never even seen. You know, they come from Instagram and Facebook, or they come from referrals, and they have no problem giving me the information. And when you think about it, you know, if your credit's messed up, there's nothing that can be done with this information anyway. So
Anyway,
might as well just take a risk and take a gamble. You know, integrity is really important to me. That's how I build my business. So I'm here to help. And a lot of times it goes back to that transparency and being open so that you can get the help that you need. It's, you know, you should have been embarrassed when you were buying stuff you couldn't afford, but, you know, don't get embarrassed when it's time to fix the problem.
it goes to your some of your Instagram posts and Facebook posts. I've noticed. What would Jamilah do?
What would I do if I was your financial advisor? If I was helping you with your money, what would I do? That's my big thing that I do. WWJD. That's what
WWJD, exactly. You know. So what advice would you give someone who's looking to start a business? They have less than perfect credit. They've chosen to go through your company. Would you say, hey, let's get your personal credit together first, then start a business, or do you do it simultaneously? You know, what advice would you give your client in that situation?
I think it depends on the type of business they want to start, what type of capital they have up front to get started. And we all know, you know, I'm sure you know very well, it's tax time. So a lot of people are getting refunds. So they're going to have that big lump sum of money. So I would advise to take that, you know, to begin to start the business. If you need to incorporate or form, you know, whatever the administrative parts of the business are. And it kind of goes together, you know, there's credit building for the business, and then there's personal credit building, and then there's money management, but they all work together. So to me, it's money management first, and then we start to repair the credit repair or fix the credit repair. And then, you know, it all works together. So once you're managing your money, your bills are being paid on time, your credit score is going to increase. You can then apply for more credit. So it all goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. The money management piece is the biggest issue. You know, like we said all the time, most people don't have a credit problem. They have a behavior problem. And that goes to the fact of being able to help an individual with that bad behavior. Now, how much do you think your psychology degree, how much do you think that's come into the role of you being able to help your clients?
You know what's interesting, when I've been in the financial industry for about 10 years now, and I didn't really want to tell people that I had the psychology background, because I'm like, you know, it doesn't really go together, psychology and finance, but it does go together. Because like I said, you have to understand how people think and how people feel about their money. And I'm coming from a different place than most financial advisors too, because I've been there. You know, I've had my credit messed up. I've been in a place where I couldn't pay my bills. You know, I had the wrong mortgage and I was making horrible money decisions. So my background actually helps me. I call it, you know, on my couch. My clients are on my couch all the time. They call me all the time. They text me all the time. And we really began to build a relationship that, you know, that's been lasting for years, because money is the focus of everything. So,
you know, it's amazing how you talk about the clients that you've gotten. Some of your clients you haven't met before. You got a lot of clients from social media. You know, that goes to show the power of where we are with marketing and with putting your, you know, for any business owner, just creating that transparency, because most people are going to do business with who they know, like, and trust. You know, if I never met you, but I see you on Instagram, I see your posts, I'm hearing you all the time. So I feel comfortable enough to give you access to my Bank of America, Wells Fargo account.
Yeah. I have about 6 apps in my phone from different clients in their banks. Most people have the same banks, but I have like 6 different ones. And so I'm always logging in, trying to see what's going on and stay on top of it, just as if it's my own money. So that's really, how I address it. It's just as important to me as when my clients get paid. I'm just as excited, like it's my payday. I'm going in and I'm looking and I'm seeing, what goal can we hit now? My clients get a report when we first start working together so they can see, and everything is mapped out, from the day that we start. This is what's going to happen at this point. So it's not just willy-nilly, we'll see what happens. If you follow the plan, this is where you'll be at this point, and we'll help you get the goals. I think I was telling you before, Christmas is the same every year. Your wife's birthday is the same every year. And most people wait until the last minute and pull money from over here and let's start in January. And so that's what I do. We look at the goals for the year. You like to take a trip in the summer? Well, let's make sure that we're planning in January, putting money away every month so that you can do the things that you like to do. And that's the thing with money management. It's kind of like dieting. If you like cookies or ice cream and your trainer just says, no, you can't have any more cookies, no more ice cream, eat salad every day, that's not going to be a good experience. So I want you to still be able to go to the movies and, shop and do the things that you like to do, but still manage and take care of your financial priorities at the same time. That's where I come in.
Exactly. Amazing. So, we have a lot of clients that will get a lump sum of money, whether it's from taxes or could be a car accident. An attorney, finally came through and the judge ruled in my favor. I'm getting a lump sum of money from here, or insurance company paying me out. What advice, whatever the scenario is, what advice could you give a person who has that lump sum of money? They got less than perfect credit. What advice would you, what system would you have them put in place for that? So they can keep it long term.
Keep the money. Yeah. One of the things, pay yourself first. I definitely believe in that, whether it's 10, 20, 30% even, so take the money and think about it. It's not money you need per se, because you've lived all the year without it. You didn't expect the car accident. You didn't expect the insurance payout. So I'm sorry for that. Don't, just act like you didn't get it. Throw some of it into the savings, and then those debts that you've been ignoring, that have been hanging around and lingering around and keeping your score down, call and see if you can negotiate. If you're not going to use a credit repair company or any of the professionals, take care of some of those debts that are outstanding and get those out of the way so that you can move on to the next level.
Exactly, because you can get your personal credit to a 680, 700, and now you're in a position where you can get 20, 30, up to sometimes $150,000 worth of business credit if you want to start a company. And now you have other options that you can take. Now you're utilizing your credit to build assets and not liabilities. So that's some great advice. So 1 or 2 more questions for you. You have a person who has the opposite view of you. He says that cash is king. I don't need credit. All I need is cash. How would you respond to that?
It's interesting because that's one of my favorite sayings. I too believe cash is king, but I also believe if you can use leverage, because that's what credit is, if I can leverage some, and get access to some things that I may not have, because cash is king, I want to keep as much cash as possible. So I can kind of have an arbitrage situation where my money's doing 2 things at one time. So if I can now I don't mean go get some credit and buy the red bottoms that you wanted that you can't afford, or, I'm saying using the credit to put you in a better place financially, whether that is starting a business or investing in something that can bring you a return. I'm all for cash being king and using the credit as leverage to get you to a better place of what you want.
Good. Some people say that cash is king, but credit is queen.
Hey, I like that. I'm gonna have to borrow that. I like that.
So the last question of our interview today, this is a question that I ask everybody that comes on the panel, on the summit. It's the theme, 100 points in 30 days. If you had a new client that needed to increase his or her credit score 100 points in 30 days, what steps would you advise them to take in order to achieve this goal?
I think the first thing that I would do is say, pull your credit first. There's a lot of free places you can pull to just get it and see what's on there, because there may even be things that have nothing to do with you. There's been a lot of identity theft. You may have debts that you never signed up for. So if you see those debts, dispute them immediately. Get those off of there. That could boost your credit. If you have somebody usually like a grandmother or a grandfather or an auntie or, someone who really has taken good care of their credit and they have a high score, see if you can be an authorized user. They don't have to give you a card, but they can just add you on. And as they pay their payments every month, your score will automatically jump up just because you did that. So those are the two things that I would say that I think could really boost you up quickly. I don't know about 100 points, but those are two things that I think can get you up there.
Good. Well, Jamilah, we definitely appreciate your time. Go ahead and tell the audience how they can get in contact with you. Give them your website, your social media handles, your Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
All right. You can find me at getblackwealth.com. Getblackwealth.com. You can find me on Instagram at getblackwealth.com. Facebook, the handle's getblackwealth.com or Black Wealth Financial, I'm sorry. You can call me or text me at 323-688-3528 or send me an email at info@getblackwealth.com.
Great. Folks, our time is up. You've been in the know with Miss Jamilah Mccluney of getblackwealth.com. Go to her website, follow her on Instagram and Facebook. She's always giving out good tips and information. So even if you have to take this summit, look at this video, rewind it back, listen to it again and again, and pick up the phone or inbox her and go ahead and get the assistance and help that you need, because she is someone that I do put my stamp of approval on. I've been knowing her for years, and she has an excellent program that can absolutely change your life. As always, our motto is the results are real. Bye for now.